Hello, YouTubers. Excuse me. Joe Kersey here on Sunday, November 19th, 2017 at 13:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time. Oh, Sunday. As you can see, as I mentioned the other day, I decided I'd start growing my winter beard. So I haven't shaved since Saturday a week ago. By Wednesday I should be out of the derelict looking phase. Right now I'm just a hair beyond the Arafat phase. you know. After a couple of months, maybe 2.5 months, 10 weeks or so, when I reach the small animal on my face phase, then the thing's going to come off. But by that time we'll have been through the bulk of the coldest part of the winter, so that's generally how it works anyway. Here we have my favorite structure in the world, the Mackinac Bridge. Took that one at sunset from the north side of the Straits of Mackinac. And I'd never seen the sunset turn the towers pink like that before. It was just breathtakingly beautiful. This year, I think in 2014, I did Christmas cards. Now, I'm not one of these people that sends cards every time somebody, gets an itch somewhere in their body. Oh, I'm so sorry about your itch. Get well soon. There are people out there like that. That's what keeps the greeting card industry in business. I have a friend at church who she makes her own cards, and they're quite good. That's a bit of a different matter, but again, she hears something about somebody, the first thing she wants to do is send them a card, and I'm thinking, you look at the prices on some of these cards, you can always tell by looking on the back, or you used to be able to. And if some of these people don't have all that much money, and they go out and they'll spend $4 on a card, that's idiotic. Anyway, so Vistaprint, whose website is not all that easy to use, by the way. Let those with ears hear. They don't have any religious themed Christmas cards, but they do let you kind of quasi design your own. So I have on this side, "For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord," and then underneath it says, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men." Those are, of course, from Luke 2 in the King James Version. And then on the back here I have, "Greetings from Joe S. Kersey and the Joe Kersey YouTube channel." So then 3 pictures of me sort of, taken within the last 18 months. This one being the most recent. This is the one that's on my channel trailer. This was, I think, February of, well, no, I don't have my beard, so it had to be late February of last year, I think. Maybe late February this year. Hard to tell. Well, anyway, that's my Christmas card. And then, I basically have never ever sent birthday cards before. But I thought, well, you could just design some sort of generic birthday card that you could use for everybody's birthday, and then just write a little thing on it. And this was from an outfit called Shutterfly. Shutterfly.com. And so we have the front. And then we have here, which is a picture of University Hall, which I think I might have taken this at Thomas's freshman orientation in 1995. And so, I mean, and then it says time and change happens to us all. Well, the time and change is a reference to a line in Ohio State's alma mater. On the other hand, you know, time and change happens to us all. That's a true statement. And then, wishing you a very happy birthday, and may you have many, many more than my name. And then on the back, you know, come in peace, stay in peace, and depart in peace. So you can basically use that for anybody's birthday. So I got 30 of each of these things. The 30 birthday cards that's going to last me a while, a long time. I'll probably run through most of the 30 Christmas cards this year. Some of you guys might even be getting one. Well, I read in church this morning, the guy that was scheduled to read, I got an email from his wife yesterday, and she says he's taken sick and can't do it tomorrow. Would you read? And I said, yeah, sure, I'll read. So I read at the 8 o'clock service. We were all of 11, counting the rector and myself. So we had 11 people today at the service. Actually, 12th person wandered in. But I think she was really intending to go to the 10:30 service. I wanted to send my Australian friend sort of a combination birthday present, Christmas present. And I'm not going to ship it down from the United States because that's just prohibitively expensive in reality. And but I was looking around on various sites last night to order what I wanted to get him. The first one wouldn't let me pay. We got to the point where you were filling in the payment information, but even though they clearly had it set up for international customers and international shipping, the postal code, you know, segment on the thing would only accept 4 numbers. Well, Australia uses 4-numbered, you know, their postal codes are 4 numbers. So, I mean, they clearly intended this only for use by Australians in Australia. So that you know, got to the last step. I just had to abandon that. But then I found another one that I was able to do it, and it worked fine. And you know, they liked my PayPal, and you know, the other outfit didn't even like my PayPal for some reason. I don't know what that was about. But anyway, the second one did. So mission accomplished. Yesterday, my ex-wife, yesterday my son, I called him about a matter related to planning this trip we're going to take in June. And I can't buy the airline tickets till he gets a new passport with a valid number and a valid expiration date, because his old one expired back in 2005. Sort of like mine did. And he says he's going to jump on that right away, and I hope he does, because you know, I just soon get these tickets arranged and the hotel arranged and so forth. You know, now I can hold off a bit on arranging my airline for this thing I'm going to do in September, late September, to Central Europe. But I want to get this thing arranged soon, because unfortunately it's in the high season. It's in the first week in June, and you know the prices just go up massively. You know, when you get into that time of year for international airline travel to, across the North Atlantic anyway. But that's the only time you can do it, so I want to do it, so let's do it. Um, but meanwhile, where I'd caught him was he was actually driving his mother to the hospital. His mother, my ex-wife, to the hospital. Because what she had an incarcerated femoral hernia that was starting to strangulate. He told me, she showed me this lump in her groin that was red and hard and tense and, hot, and very, very painful. And, well, see, I've been discussing this with her over the last few months. If we don't talk often, when we talk, she always said she described this hernia, and it's not an inguinal hernia, it's a femoral hernia. Or other people, sometimes they're called obturator hernias. They're not technically quite the same thing, but they're, the obturator hernia goes through the obturator canal empty space. The femoral hernia actually goes down through the femoral, adjacent to the sheath around the femoral artery and vein, as they exit under the inguinal ligament. In either case, they're below the inguinal ligament hernias, or inferior to the inguinal ligament hernias, that are on basically the medial or median part of the upper thigh. So they got there, this was around 9:30, maybe not quite 10 in the morning yesterday. And over the course of the day, Thomas and I went back and forth, email exchanges, and because he was doing the email from his phone, and they ended up operating on her to reduce it. They tried to reduce it, they couldn't reduce it, so they ended up operating on her. And of course, the issue was that after it's been out in the sac and strangulated, or starting to be strangulated for so long, because you can be incarcerated without strangulating the bowel in it. It usually doesn't stay that way very long, but sometimes there's a bit of a grace period for that. Not in her case. Parts of the bowel were dusky, but not overtly dead, necrotic. So they didn't resect any bowel, and they're just going to wait and see, if they need to go back in and take out some bowel at some point here the next day or two. Well, they'll certainly know within 48, 72 hours. So that's a work in progress. She's a bit of a setup for complications. She's got very, very bad pulmonary disease and obstructive airway disease specifically. And fortunately she wasn't overtly septic with this, but she could have easily gotten quite septic with it if she'd let it go on a little bit longer, and then she would have had dead bowel in there. It's never good to have dead bowel inside you. At some point I'll tell you stories about the black cauliflowers that would spring out when the bowel is dead, and you open them up and it's like So Thomas had a very full day, and my ex-wife had a very full day yesterday. No update yet today. I've been watching this TV series that ran for, I think, 5 years? At least 5 years. I think it started out on NBC, I think, and then they switched it after 2 years to cable networks. It's the Friday Night Lights, which is about a high school football team in Texas. I've not read the book on which it's based. I've not seen. I guess there's a movie of the same name. I've not seen the movie, but the TV series is absolutely excellent and well worth your time to watch. I'm almost through the first 2 seasons. This is quality television. I've been watching it on Couch Tuner, and the problem with that is, of course, it keeps trying to send bit minor viruses in your machine, and my bit defender is kicking them out, and then there's some other Trojan horse stuff that it tries to put in, and it just makes about 6 attempts per show. And sometimes, it'll click the thing off, and you got to go all the way back and start all over again to get to the thing. And at least Couch Tuner now lets you skip ahead without activating all sorts of nasty additional stuff, which was the case until they kind of updated this thing here about 3 weeks ago. So I've been doing that. And then now last night I wanted to get to bed early and get a lot of sleep, so for today. And I did go to bed early. I went to bed around, well, see, I didn't get to bed till 9:30 because I had to tend to some matters that came in around 7 o'clock via email. Okay, so I did that. I went to bed. I read for 3 hours. So I didn't get, really officially try to get to sleep till 12:30 this morning. And I woke up just a hair before 4 o'clock, and I realized I was not going to go back to sleep. But I'd had a deep sleep. I could tell because I'd had these really odd dreams, So I got up and then, went to church and read. And here I am back home, by the grace of God. So that's it. There hasn't been much going on in the interim. Between the time I talked to you on Tuesday afternoon, I think, and now, I talked with my friend Tony BZ in Seattle on Friday. No, did I talk to him on Saturday? I think I actually talked to him on Saturday. Well, I talked to him Saturday or evening or Friday evening. Friday evening, I think. Anyway, it's always fun. So I'm going to talk to Tony Pincham later this afternoon here in about an hour and a half. So that'll be great. So I'll say bye-bye, YouTubers.